Hey, this is Janet Brody. I'm just responding this way. Frankly, I never thought about doing it this way. I saw your video, so I thought I would just do an audio. Anyways, this is Janet Brody. I'm responding to your video. Yep, here in San Antonio. And I believe regarding COVID, we have been fairly good. Yes, I have different doctor friends who have said that definitely we're kind of following the trends, maybe lagging behind some other states or bigger cities. But yes, um, several of the hospitals are they're intensive care units are pretty full. Different doctors and nurses that I'm friends with have reported or have said, they've been pretty busy. Um, but if you look at the numbers, we're on the lower scale nationwide. But as a teacher, and I teach middle school, and my district, Northeast ISD, there are certainly cases, in the different schools. However, we're just kind of getting back into school. It's like what, oh, no, 4 to 5 weeks in, but we've been on distance learning, and some students are starting to come back, roll back to the campuses, and I've heard of a couple different high schools having some cases, but I feel like more. It's being managed. So overall, I believe it's pretty managed around San Antonio, but I can tell you, this is Texas and people don't take kindly to, having to wear masks and all that. Now, I'm a transplant, and so I just, do what I'm told. But yeah, unfortunately, there are those who find it a political statement, which is just ridiculous. Anyways, not going there, not going political, but let me get into my story. So, um, I chose the books I chose for, yes, definitely some different reasons. I have an idea that I kind of started a couple years ago. Um, about I worked at an elementary school called Camelot, and all the streets around Camelot Elementary, were named after a King Arthur, whether it was Gawain or Mordred or one of the different characters surrounding, within the Camelot and King Arthur Arthurian legend. And at the time, I was trying to come up with more of a children's book. And you know how things go. It just kind of got shelved and backburnered. And then when I moved up to middle school and I got interested into YA. And so, yes, I have kind of wanting to come up with a YA book or story. And it really intrigued me that I don't know of a female, like, I just wonder why we don't have any female knights that are, I'd like to see a female knight who's a bigger deal. We have different superheroes and whatnot. And while yes, the obvious one, Wonder Woman and Storm and some of the bigger superhero women, I just thought it was interesting that we didn't really have a female knight. And then, so kind of, I have developed a little bit of a story, which I kind of am scrapping some of it because I want to, make it more interesting. Now, the books that I've come up with, The Gate by Brandy Schoenberg is a fantasy, about an immortal. And really, I wanted to read that book because of the fantasy aspects. I want to bring fantasy to the story, my story about the female knight in Camelot. Um, The Girl from Everywhere is a time traveling fantasy book, and I have this fascination with time travel, and I wanted there to be a time travel element. Um, at the time that I kind of was composing these ideas, and I still want to do this, but I'm a little more nervous. Kingdom of Souls is a racially diverse book, a fantasy book of witch doctors, and really I was more interested in it for the racial diversity and the fantasy. Um, what's going on today. I really want to see writers and movies and storylines to have more racially diverse casts. But after talking to one of my black friends, and she kind of was a little opposed to the idea of a white girl writing a story with black characters. She just kept saying, well, how do you know what a black girl thinks? And I said, well, I don't know, but I know what girls think, and I know what my character thinks. So I'm a little nervous about whether or not I will make my cast racially diverse. Obviously, it needs to be done because there's a reason for it, not just to make it racially diverse. So I'm thinking that out. So so my idea with Kingdom of Souls is to read it, for the diversity in it. However, it occurred to me after I submitted, my submitted this. I probably should be reading an Arthurian legend book, and I have dabbled in reading some of them. They've often just been hard to, finish reading or hard to get into. So I don't know, maybe if I can, I'll switch out and read an Arthurian legend book. And then, of course, the Stephen King on writing. And I have this, I've had this book, and I just, because I read a lot for school in terms of, books for school. I don't always get a lot of time to read for pleasure. And so, anyways, this is going to be getting these 4 books is going to be a little challenging, but I'll do my best. So, those were my reasons for those books. I do definitely like the idea of possibly reading a book, for its point of view, because I've had a little bit of trouble keeping with the same point of view when I've written. Often it ends up changing, and then that's just a mess. And so, anyways, I don't know what your stance on moving or changing the books, but I'm sure that if I'm going to do that, it needs to be done, soon. Anyways, Janet Brody here. Thanks so much. I hope you have a good night.